everyone, welcome to Locked On Lakers for Friday. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky. Austin Reaves dominates. Rui Hachimura hits a game winner, and LeBron James' streak ends in probably the coolest way it could have. What a game on Thursday. We'll break it all down next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks to everybody for making Locked On Lakers first listen of every day, Monday through Friday. No matter where you get your podcasts, this one is never going to be locked behind some ugly paywall. You got to climb over to find it. It is part, Andy, of the number one sports podcast network in this or any known universe, the Locked On Podcast Network. So whether you get the show through Apple, iTunes, through Spotify, through maybe you're one of the 37,000 plus people who subscribe on YouTube, however you do it, we certainly appreciate it. Before we get going, and Andy, this is going to be a fun show just because it was a fun night. Lakers played a wildly entertaining, shorthanded Lakers played a wildly entertaining game in Toronto. 123-120 is the final score there. Buzzer beater by Rui Hachimura. I do need to let people know before we start that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. So we got to talk about the buzzer beater. We got to talk about LeBron James and the end of his streak in kind of a poetic fashion. We got to talk about Luka Doncic, who may or may not be with the team this weekend. But Andy, we got to talk about Austin Reaves because once again, in a game where Luka Doncic wasn't there, out still personal reasons, Austin Reaves didn't just step up. He flat dominated. Again, this has become the Luka doesn't play.
This was a true star performance from Austin Reaves. 44 points, 13 of 21 from the field, 5 of 11 from behind the arc, 13 of 15 from the line, 10 assists, 5 rebounds. His third quarter alone, like this would have been a pretty decent showing for a game, but third quarter alone, 22 points, a career high for a quarter, 5 of 6 from the field, 3 of 4 from behind the arc, got to the line 11 times, made 9 of them. 2 assists. He drew an off-ball foul. Like there was a sequence for Austin beginning roughly the 6-minute mark of the third quarter, and the Raptors are up 82-81. Austin draws a pair of free throws, hits them both, then later hits a logo 3. And I mean, this one was deep. And he shot this thing, no hesitation.
It had to clear customs, Andy. It was so far away.
Emmanuel quickly answers with a 3. Austin Reaves immediately matches that one with a 3. He then sets up LeBron for a bucket. He then gets fouled on a 3-point attempt, makes all 3 of the free throws. He draws, I believe, another off-ball foul, had an and-one jumper that he's fouled on. Free throw is sunk. By about the 2-minute mark of the third quarter, the Lakers are up 99-91. I mean, this was like a 4-minute period where Austin really on both sides of the ball, because he was making things happen on the other end too, not necessarily with individual defense, but just activity.
He drew two critical charges in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. This was such a just tremendous game on a night where, we're still feeling out. We're going to talk about LeBron. It is very clear. You may disagree with me, but I said I had my concerns heading into this, and this game did nothing to assuage them. LeBron is still working himself back to wherever the highest point can be physically.
He said as much after the game.
He is clearly nowhere close to where he wants to be or where the Lakers want him to be. He still made some incredible plays in this game, which we'll talk about. But with LeBron, not LeBron at the moment, other than as a playmaker, and Luka not there, they needed somebody to step in big time to start this road trip against a good Raptors team on the heels of one of the worst performances they've had Monday against the Suns. And Austin was him, man. Austin was him. He was incredible in this game.
And this has just been the pattern for Reaves this year. And like, I know there are, I mean, like the Lakers fan base is vast. It contains multitudes. You got people who love LeBron. You got people who hate LeBron. You got people who love Austin Reaves. You got people who think Reaves sucks and only piles up numbers against bad teams. Well, it's a 15-win Raptors team that was focused on exclusively on him. It wasn't like, he had 2 or 3 other guys that were drawing all the attention. Austin Reaves was, without question, the offensive focal point of the Lakers. And he once again, when Luka wasn't there, lifted them to this win. And I just, he had 10 assists. It's not like he was just, chucking all over the floor. He had 10 assists. The LeBron part of it, like in terms of what I'm about to say, it's not 100% this, because LeBron was also clearly could see like, all right, I am not capable right now. I'm not going to help my team if I try to take over in the fourth quarter. But it was really stark to see LeBron, in critical possessions, like Austin's ball. Austin's on the ball. Austin's initiating whatever. I'm going to set screens for him. I'm going to pop, from weak side to strong side. I'm going to do stuff to help. But this is Austin Reaves' show to orchestrate in the fourth quarter. And that has not always been the case. LeBron maybe gives up some of those shots, but he's going to start with the ball in his hands or something like that and find a way to get it to AR or whatever. No. It was very, very clear what the pecking order was here. And that I thought was both, it was just obviously jumps off the screen. Not just for me, I'm sure, but it's really reinforces just how high Austin has ascended. And LeBron talks about it all the time, how much respect LeBron has for the skill level in Austin's game.
There's a trust he has in Austin, and he's had it for a while. He's had it for a few years. This is the most stark, for lack of a better way of putting it, most stark example of how much he is willing to put the ball, if it's not in Luka's hands, in Austin's hands. And he did some of this last year, even as Anthony Davis was becoming the number one option offensively for the team. LeBron was still ceding some degree of playmaking offensive responsibility to Austin. But right now, especially, it's funny too. Like the final play of the game, which we're going to talk about LeBron's streak ending and Rui Hachimura hitting the game winner, because there was poetry. There was poetry in the way this went down for both LeBron and Rui, given what had happened in Monday's game with both of them. But the possession started with Austin bringing the ball up the court and eventually drawing 2 defenders. He swings the ball to LeBron. LeBron drives, and he had already been signaling to Rui, get to the corner. I'm going to be getting you the ball. But he drives, dishes to Rui. Rui hits the corner 3 as the buzzer sounds and the Lakers win the game. But as Austin was bringing the ball up, he said afterwards, he's like, I'm going to, I got to be real. I'm going to come clean. He actually thought the Lakers were down a point when he was bringing the ball up. And LeBron actually had to clarify to him. I don't think LeBron even realized that Austin thought this, but he was saying like one shot. And Austin then realized like, oh crap, the score's tied. So like and that's where you still like the value of LeBron, who recognizes everything, even as smart a player as Austin has become. And, clearly he was in his bag and under control in this game. It's still a reminder of how handy it is to have LeBron around. Like that moment, Austin was laughing.
The old man still there. It was, and this game just had a lot of stuff. It had a play where the Lakers, like 4 Lakers, walked off the floor, assuming there was a timeout, except Austin, who went down and scored. Like there's just, and we'll talk about LeBron.
And Scotty Barnes was screaming at the other Raptors, like, get back here.
Well, Austin ended up going 1-on-3 on that play.
What's so funny is the basket that he made there, and I mean, Austin really had to muscle this thing up, and you don't typically think of Austin as one of those. It's more of like a LeBron type of layup. Yeah. But when Austin did that, I was so taken aback by him actually making that basket in that type of traffic. I didn't even realize in real time the whole everyone else thinks it's a timeout thing. I thought Austin was just feeling it and decided, YOLO, I'm going.
I was just like, where'd everybody go?
Like, I just thought Austin called Leroy Jenkins and just said, I'm doing it, man.
But so we're going to talk about LeBron. We're going to talk about Rui. We're going to talk about Jake LaRavia. This was genuinely a team win. And, you could tell they were pleased after it. You could tell JJ Redick was pleased after it. Like, this was a fantastic team win, shorthanded against a good Raptors team on the front end of a back-to-back where you got to get this win because you don't exactly know who's playing this weekend. So plenty more to unpack, including the end, Andy, of 1,267. Is that what the number was?
Something like that, man. It goes back to January 2007.
We'll get into all of it next.
Locked on Lakers is brought to you by DoorDash. The season's heating up, and DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag all the way through. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season more fun. Every player has their bag. With DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked, your gear fresh, and the watch party vibes on point. And there are going to be those nights where your team stresses you out, so let DoorDash become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you just need dessert right now, or snacks. You need cups for the post-game beverages, or sometimes you just got to send your friend the phone charger, the guy that's always at 2%, but you guys always text about the game afterwards. That's the good luck ritual to keep momentum going. So from tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag, order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, and gear, whatever gets you through the season, delivered right to your door. DoorDash, in your bag all season long.
It was actually 1,297. A 6 is just a lazy 9. That you talk about almost 1,300 games in a row of scoring double-digit points. And, there's a larger conversation here. And, we had it to some degree going into Thursday's game. We'll probably have it coming out of the weekend's games because it doesn't seem like, LeBron's just going to snap his fingers and it's going to be fixed. Like, it's a process. He said after the game, it's all unprecedented. I've never had to do this before. I'm not where I want to be. It's going to take a minute.
Yeah.
He said it. So if he thinks that, I certainly am willing to take him.
I thought it anyway. So I'm.
No. I was 100% like, this is going to take a month or whatever. But like, if he's agreeing with me, then we all got to give it some time. But we were wondering if he was going to lose the streak the other night. When he was sitting on 2 points at halftime, and clearly had to kind of labor to get there. The Lakers were getting their butts kicked against Phoenix, and so they could sort of afford to let LeBron get to 10. But this was a close game, and LeBron was sitting on 6 points, I think it was, going into the fourth, and he was aggressive, taking, I thought, good shots, but couldn't get the 3 to fall, over 5 from 3-point range, all that stuff. He was aggressive in taking shots when they were available in the third quarter, sort of try to get going, and none of them went down. And at that point, you could see him switch strategies, be like, all right, I am not forcing, like, he was clearly not going to force his way to 10 in this game. He essentially stopped shooting in the fourth quarter and played a role as a facilitator and a passer. And it is kind of, I think, poetic that the streak ends on a play where LeBron not only could have tried to make a bucket, but could have made a bucket to win the game, to get to 10 points, but instead made that pass to Rui Hachimura, who, it's the right basketball play. Looked very similar to the Donyell Marshall pass 1,000 years ago.
When, by the way, the streak might have actually been going. I don't remember the exact
probably
year.
Was.
I'm just saying.
I
don't remember the exact year of the Donyell Marshall pass. I'm just saying it is not out of the question that pass and that play that happened, during roughly the Kennedy administration, right, that might have been part of the streak. It's funny though.
But like that was the origin story, really, of the making the right play, and right, we're still doing it.
It launched 1,000 Skip Baylesses,
and I love, and if honestly, and if he misses the shot, they go into overtime, and he's got even more opportunities to get to 10. Well, I love that this is how the streak ended.
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite agree with you that he had stopped shooting in the fourth quarter. He took 6 shots in the fourth quarter. Like, I don't mean that.
I may be transposing some of my shots that I thought were in the third.
Yeah, I mean, and I want to be
down the stretch. He was, like, as I said in the first segment, ceding control of the offense to Austin.
Sure,
and played a secondary facilitator role.
Right. I just want to make it clear because he didn't actually stop shooting. He took 17 shots in this game, and I want to make it perfectly clear. I don't think it had anything to do with the streak or trying to reach 10. As you said, I don't think these were forced shots. It was just very clear in this 4 for 17 night, and it was clear early on in this game. He did not have it. He looked, other than the passing, which was fantastic this entire night. He had 11 assists against 0 turnovers. And I mean, he threw some passes tonight that were vintage LeBron. He had drawn doubles during this part in the fourth quarter where he was essentially the lone ball handler on the floor. And it is a reminder, we've talked about this before, that great players, defenders around the league, are just hardwired to throw doubles at them, sometimes more, even on nights when they don't have it.
They threw a triple at him on
right.
the LaRavia, on the bucket, the pass he made to LaRavia. That was a triple.
That's the one that I was about to talk about. He had 2 and then someone else coming over, and he threaded this pass, cross-court bouncer to LaRavia. Perfect. Like, he had some vintage LeBron playmaking in this game, and this is the type of stuff, and I tweeted about this at Cam Brothers, like, LeBron will be able to make high-level passes into his 50s. Like, he will be able to do this forever. But everything else in this game, and I don't mean just the shooting, I mean the way he was moving. There was a time where there was a sequence where he attempted to draw a charge, and he got over late, and it was called blocking, and the Lakers challenged it, and I knew they were going to lose, and they did end up losing. Like, there was a couple times where he grabbed a rebound, and before he could secure it, it got poked out of his hand. Like, he was physically out of sorts in this game at times, to be perfectly honest. It looked to me like his confidence was a little bit shaky. Like, his body language in the game was off in ways that not like negative body language. It was more just like, you could see at times on his face, like, what the hell is happening, man?
Well, it's a frustration also too. It's a, what do I do?
Right.
It's, do I try to, power through? Do I, what is the right way for me to play this?
There were times I was watching LeBron on the court and his body language looked almost nervous. Even though I know LeBron was not nervous during this game, it almost looked nervous just because he was, frankly, out of sorts. Mm-hmm. But the final play, the one that he threw to Rui, the pass to Rui that set up the game winner, it was the correct basketball play in the sense that your best three-point shooter is wide open. You've set this up to suck the defense into the lane so you can get Rui wide open. He's out there to make those type of shots. But it was also honestly the correct play because this was not a night where you could be confident LeBron couldn't make that shot. Like, it was the correct play on 2 levels.
Well, it was him passing up a hard shot for, you know, if LeBron's playing well, that's a hard shot.
But when LeBron, right? But LeBron playing well, though, you will have a certain amount of confidence that even with people in the paint, he's LeBron James.
I would much rather have Rui take that corner three, no question.
I would rather him take the corner three too. But I'm just saying there have been countless games in LeBron's career where even if it's not the quote unquote right basketball play, you can at least feel confident with LeBron taking it, or you'll take your chances with LeBron taking it. This was also the correct basketball play, not just because it's the finger quotes correct one. It was the correct play because this was not a night for LeBron to take that shot anyway.
I agree. That's what I was getting at. That's what I was agreeing about.
Right. Kudos to him, man, for it is poetic that this guy who's had this long, insanely long double-digit scoring streak, who is at heart, first and foremost, a playmaker. That's really who he is. That's really who he's wired to be, first and foremost, that the streak would end setting up a game-winning shot for, I'm sure we'll talk about this coming up next. The guy on this team that I think really needed that shot the most coming out of the game against Phoenix. So we'll get into that coming up next. Locked on Lakers is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays, they move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. And that's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the actions unfold. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment with live spreads, money lines that adjust instantly, and player props that update as the guys heat up. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, and every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets. It does make you hungry. Live bets can make a man hungry.
I would host that.
All season long, FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
You, I believe, were teeing up an homage to our friend Rui Hachimura at the end of the game. By the way, I should note our buddy Chris McGee, Geeter on Spectrum Sportsnet, rightly pointed out that Japanese athletes in Los Angeles uniforms have been very unkind to Toronto sports.
Yes, they
this fall.
Have.
They Yamamoto and now Hachimura. A lot of disappointment brought by Japanese athletes in representing Los Angeles.
I don't follow hockey, so I have no idea.
I don't think that's going to be.
I was going to say, I don't know how good the Leafs are, and I don't know if there are any Japanese players on the Kings. But if there are any Japanese players on the Kings, the Leafs, I don't care how good they are, they might as well just pack this thing in, man. It ain't their year. It's just not happening. But we talked a lot after the Phoenix game about it's not just that Rui went scoreless, and it's not just that he took only one shot. Dude barely touched the ball the entire game. He had 16 touches in 23 minutes. That is insanely low. I mean, Jackson Hayes had as many touches in 9 fewer minutes. Like, I think Dalton Connect had more Rui's usage for the game was 1.7 for the first quarter. It was 0. And Rui's not a complainer. Rui is a pretty positive guy. He is a very popular guy in that locker room. He's very beloved by teammates. He ain't a boat rocker. Rui's made it very clear. He wants to be a Laker for the rest of his career. He wants to go nowhere. And that's what made his post-game comments where he said, I have never played, I don't remember in this game ever touching the ball. And I know I'm playing with Luka and LeBron and Austin, and I understand my place on this team, and I get it. And at the same time, man, this isn't how we play good basketball. This isn't how you win. And it's like, so many words, what the bleep am I doing out here if I'm not going to get to shoot the ball at all? Like we've talked before.
Touch it. Well, touch the ball.
Talked before. Rui is not the guy you want out there for the proverbial little things. Like that's not Rui's bag. Rui got more involved in this game, and it was fitting that given what happened on Monday, he got to have this moment. It's the first game winner of his NBA career. He did his post game holding on to that ball, and he was rightly really excited.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even remember in the Thero game where like he wanted the ball and like they had to like fight Giannis or like fight the Bucks, and then Giannis got a bad. Like Rui just took that thing and took off before any Raptors could get him. I just have to declare that when they come back through customs, one stolen basketball. So we'll see how that goes. But
the Mounties will be after him.
I just Jake LaRavia played great in this game. Rui had a bounce back game. Let's just there are certain times like you and I are quite lucky that whether it's going to games, whether it's watching games, we're like the worst Laker game that we had to go to, like we were still going to basketball games for your job. Neither one of us are going to be that guy who complains about it. But like this was just genuinely fun to be able to watch. There was like good minutes from Adu Thero. There was just that block that LaRavia had in the fourth quarter. Just talk about a guy not giving up on a play, and easily could have just said like it's too close to the basket for me to try to block it. This was a play on on the rim, and by the way, it was set up. He blocked LaRavia, if you missed it, blocked Mamukelashvili at the rim, and the play was set up because I think it was Reaves.
Yes, it was.
Contested, yes, it was. I forget, it was either Barnes or Quickly or
Austin
something.
Got stripped, but he got back. He got back.
He made him make the pass backwards to Mamu, and that was enough for LaRavia to get back. So it was it was two things happening. These guys played so hard in this game.
Nick Smith Jr., who also had really good moment. Nick hasn't played in a while and shorthanded. This was a potential opportunity for him. And he had a sequence where I don't remember if the Lakers either missed a shot and Toronto was running off it or they turned the ball over. But Nick Smith Jr. got back, broke up a fast break. Then he took the ball up court. And this whole time you could tell he was like, I am putting this bleeper up. I am putting this bleeping shot up. And I remember this whole time I'm like, man, you better make that shot, Nick. Yep. You better make that shot because you have not looked at anybody else as you've had the ball. And to his credit, man, he
this wasn't a play where everybody went to the bench thinking it was a timeout.
No.
There were options.
Let me tell you who called number 20, Nick Smith Jr.'s number. It was Nick Smith Jr. But
2 thumbs and
he had 12 points in this game, 4 of 7 from the field. He had a couple threes. He had 2 steals. And again, one of the best defensive plays of this game. You mentioned Adu Thero. His 10 minutes verified Jared Vanderbilt ain't never playing again the rest of this season. But I will say this. If JJ is willing to play Thero, who is very much a Vando-type player, and he is willing to ride out some of the inevitable rookie mistakes, I liked what I saw from Thero in 10 minutes, man. His first shift in particular was really good.
That reverse layup he had, I think, at 4 points. He almost jumped too far. Like I'm watching it going, he's too far away now from the basket. Like he cleared on it was just like, I mean, granted, it's not hard to stick out as super athletic when you play for the Lakers because, the guys around you are doing you a favor in that regard. But he is so bouncy in ways that the rest of the team isn't. There are certain teams that are very good and you just you respect them. You acknowledge the talent. They may not necessarily be fun. They may not always be super easy to root for. This team is both shaping up to be pretty good. I don't know how far they're going to go, but they're a pretty good team. 16 wins and and playing well. They're a fun team to watch, and they're an easy team to root for.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been really enjoyable so far. I mean, there's been a few clunkers in the same way. You and I have covered championship teams, and I know people memory hold this stuff to where, Kobe and Pau never ever had an off game or took a game off or Showtime. I promise you they did. And Brian and I were at basically every single home game of the second half of Kobe's career. At least 80% of those games. And as far as the Kobe Pau years, we were basically at every single one of those. I promise you, there were games that they took off, but still, like, they're fun, man. This group is a lot of fun. They've coalesced together in really good ways. They support each other. You could see how excited everyone was for Rui in this moment. I think they all recognize, like, man, Rui deserves more than one. Rui Hachimura should never have just one shot in a game. Like, that's BS on our part. That's ridiculous. So, and they were happy for him. LeBron was ecstatic for Rui. Yeah. Ecstatic for him.
Rui said after the game, LeBron said, like, it's going to be you. Like, it's, it's not shocking. LeBron sort of seeing how these things are going to set up, whatever, can anticipate this coming, but they like each other. Mm-hmm. We've been around sports and covered enough teams that, you can tell when they're either sort of faking it or, if you want to go back, to the Wayback Machine, some of the Dodgers teams we covered, not even bothering trying to fake it. Like, these guys.
No, they actually wouldn't go. They went out of their way to let us know just how much they didn't like each other.
Yeah. You hear the way Luka talks about AR in press conferences and, like, the jabs that they'll sort of take at each other. You heard there was a great clip post game where, JJ was criticizing his team and talking about it, like, and kind of poke fun at him because, like, we keep throwing lobs to white guys. And all, it's just they enjoy each other's company. They enjoy this thing. And as Austin said after the game, it's like, you spend a year, like, it's cliche, but they see more of each other than they do their families, and it's not even close. And just the whole thing, like, I am enjoying this because, the Luka stuff is incredible. AR's season so far has been a phenomenal story. We haven't talked about Deandre Ayton, but he was great on.
Deandre was really good tonight.
Both sides of the ball was really good, and, like, that's a great storyline. But they also have had these great moments when their stars aren't playing. Like, there's no indication that Luka will be back in time for the 4:00 local, West Coast time tip-off of the game against the Celtics. There's a good chance LeBron won't play in that game because they've already talked about how he's not ready to play back-to-backs yet. And we'll see if Smart plays. There was at least some thought that maybe he could, but we'll see.
I mean, honestly, we'll see if LeBron plays. It's the second end of the back-to-back.
That's what I just said. Like, I don't think.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. But, like, and we'll see if Luka's back for Sunday. Like, who knows? But it's, you still feel like when they're going to give you a decent game, even when those guys don't play. They might get their butts kicked. Who's to say? But they'll give you the real effort. And you always have this feeling like somebody's going to do something while these guys are out. You're going to get a quote unquote Nick Smith game, whether from Nick Smith or someone else. I'm really enjoying this team, a quarter of the way through the season or wherever we are.
Yeah.
It is a fun team to have to watch play 82 times.
Yeah. 21 games in, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you can go hang out with over 37,000 subscribers to the channel. Lakers, of course, playing the hated Celtics on Friday afternoon. Both teams, Friday afternoon on the West Coast at least, both teams will be on the second night of a back-to-back. The Lakers having had worked significantly harder to win their half.
I don't know if Jaylen Brown will be available. He's been dealing with some illness and didn't play in this game. So
they didn't need him. They won by 40 or something. So the Celtics had a laugher on Thursday. So they'll be a little fresher than the Lakers. Won't be traveling as far either. So, well, we'll see. But it's still Lakers versus Celtics. And we, of course, will be back to recap it after it's over. We'll see everyone tomorrow.